Welcome back to the Spirit Reset. Oh, Spirit Wisdom Reset. Listen here, I done had too much. The Spirit Wisdom Reset. Welcome back to the Spirit Wisdom Reset. We are going to talk about resistance, and as it is in the Crossroads, right? What we talked about before were 4 steps that covered what was that? Resistance, flow, receive, and decision, right? So we're going to cover them each in its own individualized session. We're going to go in order that we spoke them on our original Crossroads video. So this is Crossroads session 1, resistance. Resistance. First of all, my name is Mayette Ajay-Ib, and my beautiful co-host is
Ujo Wajet.
Okay, bam. All right. So we were talking about when you get at the crossroad, when you're at the crossroads of anywhere in your life, the first thing that you need to do is stop resisting. And maybe talking about what resistance looks like will help y'all understand that you be resisting and not realizing you resisting. So sis, I want you to start it off. What does resistance look like? What can it look like when you're at a crossroads? What can that look like?
Resistance can be unawareness, that you don't even recognize that you are resisting something, or that something is even happening. Like there's this just lack of awareness, or this lack of awareness can also be avoidance or denial. It can show up in a lot of different ways. And so I have found from my own personal experience and working with other people to help work through their resistance, that's usually one of the first steps, or a key indicator. Like, are you aware? And then what are you aware of? And usually there's a gap there of when it comes to the awareness of it.
So being aware is that you are aware is key point, basically.
Right. Because if you don't know what's going on, and this is one of the things I like to share when it comes, like, if you are unaware, how do you become aware? My words of wisdom with that is, if you start noticing the loops, the patterns of things, like, why does this continue to happen in this way? Or why do I keep attracting the same type of person? Or why do I keep experiencing the same scenario over and over again? This is an indicator. This is a sign that you are in a loop. So pay attention to the patterns that keep coming up in these similar situations and scenarios. That is usually a key indicator that there's something that you're not connecting with there, and there's a reason why it's continuing on this same type of cycle. And I typically like to ask myself or people that I'm working with, like, what have you noticed? What patterns have you noticed? What do you keep experiencing? And what is the built up frustration? Because usually you continue to get more and more frustrated. So that awareness not only starts to show up, an indicator is not only the patterns that show up, but also, like, it's starting to become a pain point. It's starting to become a point of frustration. That's usually, a trigger for you to be like, okay,
get out my head, girl.
Right.
I wrote down discomfort and pain. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. That is it. Like, when you have pain, like when you are resisting, if you don't know you're resisting, another indicator is the actual pain itself, or the illness that starts, or an ailment that starts to show itself, to manifest itself in your physical body. You become tired when you're resisting because you're off kilt. You're resisting something within your life. When you are extremely tired, you're resisting rest. You're resisting letting go of something. You're resisting letting go of some hurtful situation, something that could have taken place and happened that caused you pain. You're resisting letting it go. And so it's manifesting in your physical body in an ailment, you know what I'm saying? Some form of discomfort, dis-ease. And so you look at the pain point, right? The thing that's causing you pain and discomfort, and you go and dial that joker back and you trace it back to where it came from. I don't know if y'all remember, but in the first portion of the Crossroads, we talked about the fact that we're giving you, the steps, but you're not going to be able to do the steps and be going. You got to sit in an area, because what we're unlocking in this particular moment is the fact that there's some additional work that needs to be done right here. There's work that needs to be done in the awareness of resistance. What you aware that when you become aware, like you said, it says unaware. You're unaware. And how to figure out what you're unaware about is to focus in on those pain points, focus in on, even how your body's feeling, those loops, like you said, all those reoccurring things that's happening. Now, daggone well, you just got out of a relationship where the dude or the female was constantly, that was lazy as crap. And you got out of one and then in right back into another one with that same situation. You need to look at why you keep attracting that to you, sis. You're resisting the lesson, bruh.
Yeah.
You are resisting the lesson, home, bruh. You need to look at that, right? You need to look at that. So we have going in loops, unaware of your resistance, going in loops, the pains that you feel, the ailments that take place within your body, and really tracing and dialing things back, right? So that you have to then sit in it. Now, you'll be guided as to both Ujo and I are, I would say we are experts in the subject, because we have experience. Not only did we get professional assistance in and guidance and certifications, but we have done the most, experienced the most within our own lives, our own stories. And so, as I said in the first one, and I'll say in all of them, we are the experiencers sharing our experience, so that you can, you know what I'm saying, find something that resonates with you in this, and that will help you apply it to your particular situation in your right now moment, because you listen to this for a reason. I mean, you didn't just stumble upon here, even though we did it 4 or 5 years ago. You listen to it right now. It was necessary, baby. It was necessary.
Yeah.
You right there. You resisting right now. You in your resisting phase right now. And now you being told, hey, look at what you're resisting. Right now you're in your resisting phase. You're supposed to be watching it right now. Okay. So sis, what is another thing that happens when one resists? What can happen when one resists?
So, there's a few things that can happen. And there's different levels of resistance. So we talked about that, like when you're unaware and how that can show up. And then, then when you start to become aware, then you can decide like what you want to do with that. And I just want to make a note that just because like you might be at a stage where you are aware of what you're resisting, and you can choose to continue to resist. And it's a choice. You can decide that. You can, but with it, it's like, okay, well, what comes with it? What do you gain from continuing to resist when you're aware of it? Like you were mentioning, like coming in and out of relationships. I think that's a very relevant topic. And what I've noticed, people can have a fear of being alone, right? So let's just use this. I think examples would be helpful. So a fear of being alone. And so they continue to stay in relationships, or they go from relationship to relationship because they are afraid to be alone, because they don't want to deal with the stuff that they have going on. And that can be all types of stuff. Right. And so they are choosing. The benefit of continuing to resist is, I just want to stay distracted. I want to keep myself distracted because I don't want to deal with my own stuff. and I want to put my intention into a relationship, or put the labor on another person sometimes.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it can show up as these. Sometimes we have these unspoken expectations of other people. If
Right.
we are resisting the things that we need to deal with for ourselves, and then we're placing
Uh-huh.
that on other people, whether it's someone that you're dating, someone that you are in a life partnership with, or even when
Right.
it comes to um, working with coaches, consultants, therapists, healers. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes it goes into just moving it, wanting to put it on somebody else. So
Right.
that's how it can show up, and um, that can get you in a variety of situations
I'm talking
that
about that.
won't
It's
work
going,
out for you.
that, listen, that's gonna hurt that ass. Okay, you're gonna go through so much pain and anguish.
Yeah.
Okay, you choose to. I see what you're saying. It makes lots of sense with how, based off of some of the things I've experienced, and when I have consciously was consciously aware that I was resisting. And when I realized that, I started to then look at everybody that it was affecting. And it was like, I love these people. It affects those people that are around you. It affects those
Hmm.
people that are around you. And you don't realize that that's something that you're doing. So you have to be aware. You have to be consciously aware that you have to be consciously aware that when you are consciously aware that you are, you know what I'm saying, resisting, and you're accepting and choosing to continue to resist, you are really affecting those people around you. So do you really love them? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Probably not, because you are, at some point, is not, you're not loving yourself.
And it is a perspective shift, because when we're in a state of resistance, we're only looking at how it is influencing us, right? It's only
Yeah.
like and it's more like, like this kind of survival mode.
Right.
And so when you start to allow yourself to see the bigger picture of what you gain and also what you lose through this resistance, because
Right.
the thing is, not all resistance is bad,
Right.
but you have to pay
Everything has
attention
cause and
to.
effect. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And you have to decide, okay, well, how is this benefiting me? And is this in alignment? And I
Mm-hmm.
try to stay away from the like what's good or bad, right? It's like, is this in alignment with the direction I want to take in my life? Is this in
Mm-hmm.
alignment with the type of person I want to be, or the type of who I want to become? Is
Mm-hmm.
this in alignment with my personal values?
Mm-hmm.
Is this in alignment with the promises that I have set, the
Mm-hmm.
promises that I want to keep to myself or others? and
Mm-hmm.
and those are more the questions. And I feel like you'll probably hear me say this. You'll definitely hear me say this throughout various episodes, because I'm very strong on that aspect of like, it's so easy to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. It's very, when you have all that middle ground, you have to find your footing there.
Yeah.
And
Come back to the middle, baby.
right. And it's not about this right or wrong thing, but it's about the
Yeah.
alignment, and you being more mindful about who you are being.
Absolutely. Listen, nothing is good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is. When you're at the
Hmm.
place of it being just is, you are already bringing yourself from one part of the spectrum or the other, and you're gravitating back toward the middle. That acceptance starts that. That means I'm resisting. I'm experiencing some pain around here. Oh God, I keep getting this same situation happening over and over and over again. I am resisting. Okay, wait a minute. I'm resisting. But you don't give any judgment to it. You don't give any judgment to your resistance. Once you recognize you are resisting, regardless of what it is, you give it no judgment. You give it no energy. You just recognize it for what it is. And when you recognize what is as is, you are coming back to the middle ground. And when you come
Mm-hmm.
back to, you're coming back. And the more you do that, the more you'll be able to detach and step out and look at the whole situation and say, I'm resisting. This is what it's, you'll be able to have a 360 view. This is who it's affecting. This particular situation, my resisting in this situation is affecting this person, and this person. It's always going to affect me. It's always going
Right.
to affect me, but it is affecting other people that are in close proximity with me, physically and both energetically. So you think about it affecting those people that you know of, and then it also affects other people that are operating in your same vibrational frequency. It affects them too, because everything is a ripple effect of a ripple effect of a ripple effect of a ripple effect. So when you know everything, so if you think about it from a large, a macro perspective instead of being so micro,
Right.
me, and you recognize that there is a bigger responsibility that I have when I'm resisting. There's a bigger responsibility. There's a bigger effect that's happening on a macro level. And once we
Mm-hmm.
start seeing things from all perspectives, all angles, we'll resist less. We'll resist less. So when you're at the crossroads, when you at the crossroads,
And
oh, meet
you
you
won't
at
be
the crossroads.
lonely.
Right?
So you won't
Okay,
be
when you at the
lonely.
crossroads, okay, okay, and
Shout out to Bone
so
Thugs and
when you are
Harmony.
at the crossroads, okay. When you are at the crossroads, the first thing you need to recognize once you are where you're at the crossroads is resistance. Where am I resisting? What am I resisting? Why am I resisting? Who's being affected by my resistance? And what does that affect? Affect, AFFECT, or effect, EFFECT? Is it an
Mhm.
effect or is it an affect? Affect is on a higher vibration. Effect is a lower vibration, lower vibratory aspect. So what is it that my resistance is doing in my life as a whole, and how does it not only affect me, but it affects those that are around me and those that are within my vibrational frequency range? Because
Mhm.
each one of you are so much more responsible for things than you even realize.
Yeah.
So spend a little time here, spend a lot of time here, because this is the beginning of everything right here. Spend time there. This is the time where, when you realize you're resisting, what you want to do is you want to go on to the inside, check your spirit, come on over to either my website or come over to my sister's website. We will have that information, and you can see what service resonates to you, that will help you through this right now moment. You may need a one-on-one session. You may need a few sessions. You may need a little bit of guidance. Either way, you're going to find what you need on either her website or mine. We are here to assist you, to help you, to aid you. We ain't finna hold your motherfucking hand though. We don't hold
Mm-mm.
hands.
No,
We don't
no,
hold
no.
hands. We both have different but same approaches. We don't hold
Yeah.
hands. So you are able to come and get assistance. And if even if we're not ones that you resonate with, you have to go get you some help. This is the place. This is where you get help at, right here, because a lot of you will start to unfold into a lot of your traumas right here, because your resistance is just the mirror image of your trauma. It's just, that's it. So this is where you're gonna recognize a lot of your traumas right here in this resistance factor of the crossroads. So I implore you to take some time to go ahead and start doing what you need to do. You had some homework in that first one. I hope you did it. If you did not, go back and listen to the initial, okay,
Yes.
video and session. Okay, Crossroads. Go ahead and listen to that. You had homework. This homework will be for you to go get you some help. Start the process. Get real with yourself. Get real with yourself, because
Mm-hmm.
you're not resisting just for yourself. You're not resisting just because of what you had, or what somebody did, or how they were, or how they acted. You're not, you grown now. Use your adult powers. Use your adult
Yes.
power. You're grown now. Use those adult powers and do what's required for you to get past it, because your shitty ass attitude, your shitty ways are affecting the planet. Now, let's just go
Okay.
ahead and get it. Let's get it the way it is. Okay. It's
Right. Because when
affecting
you realize you're the problem, when you
when you
realize it is the
you
best thing
realize you're
ever.
the problem.
Oh, there's been
Okay,
so many times
baby,
where
we
I had to check myself, or the universe had to check me, or my ancestors had to check me, or somebody else had to check. I was like, ooh, like, oh, wait a minute.
okay. Oh, that was me. That was me the whole time. Oh my gosh. Like, not me. Yeah, you was resisting, bitch. That's what your spirit was like. I'm so happy that you finally heard me. So it
Yes.
took me to knock you off your feet, for you to lose that job, for you to get sick physically. It took me for you to go through all of this, for you to recognize that you've been resisting. I'm telling you, that's the key one. So this is the space
Yes.
where you really need the most help. So come see me or my sister. You'll have our information, that you will be able to reach out to either one of us. But get your assistance going. Okay, we have something that will be able to assist you identify, even in times when you are lost, you cannot see. We can even guide you in uncovering what that resistance is. So I have appreciated y'all listen. You got some questions, share in the comments. We will answer in our Q&A. Oh yeah, that's what is on the screen for those of you who are listening and listening to this on one of the podcast platforms. Please note that you can come over to our website, go over to our YouTube page, and you can comment. You can send us an email, get on our email list. You can do that as well. We have, oh my goodness, we have 3 more to break down, and then we're getting into our reset Q&A session, right? So let's tell the people how it goes. Let's tell the people how it goes, sis. We start out with the what?
Yeah. So, what you can expect when we go into um, an episode, like a series, which is a culmination of multiple episodes on centered around a specific topic, and we break down like the steps, or key points, and we typically will do an overview, or an intro, and then we'll break down the different steps or aspects or key points, and then we will do a Q&A that is centered around that topic as a whole. So throughout this time, no matter when you're listening or if you're watching, and all the links will be in the description, in the show notes, and also in the description of the video on our YouTube channel as well, and on our website. So we will also eventually like revisit these topics. So it doesn't matter when you are watching this or listening to this. We will be revisiting the comments and the questions, and keeping track of that, because there's layers to everything. There's layers to this shit, y'all. And it's so important, like, to just be aware of where you're at within your own cycle, within your own spiral. It's a whole thing. And you will still learn no matter where you're at on your journey. So even still now, I'm still learning things about resistance, or having a new perspective of resistance compared to where I was before. And this is about the reward is in the journey, right? The reward
Yes.
is in the effort. The reward is in it. It's in the work. It's in the discovery. It's in
Yes,
it's
it
it's in
is.
all of that. And so um, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and that you continue to enjoy this journey with us. This is a co-creation, and that's the type that is the way that I like to lead my work is with other people. Especially, it's a co-creation. Like
Yeah.
Maya said, we don't do the work for you. We do it with you. We support you in it. We empower you to do it for yourself. This isn't like some dogmatic
Right.
situation
At
of what's
all.
right and wrong. It should be this or that. It's really about what resonates with you based off of the season in your life that you're in, and what can you take from this, what's for you and what's not for you. Um, so hopefully you found this to be helpful. Let us know if you have any comments or any questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer that in a future Q&A. Until the next episode, enjoy, reflect, and be at peace.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Peace, 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 y'all.
Bye.